Hi guys, thanks for checking the video out. Steve Buzza here, and today I'm talking about the takeaway and where the club should be kind of when it gets parallel with the ground. I have been spending most of my time on Instagram, and I've had some wonderful comments on my Instagram posts, such as, "You're terrible," or "This is wrong." Today I'm going to explain why I'm the expert and you should be nicer. No, I'm just going to kind of explain there's lots of different reasons why they are different. So I've probably put the Instagram reel up, so you should have seen it now. I did a video which was actually from a lesson. So most of the time I do my content specific for either this or for Instagram. This was one I filmed for a client that was in person, and I thought that's pretty good, that might be helpful, so I sent it to other people. So what I had shown, put an arrow on the toe and I said it needs to point up more. To give you context, it was a lady, beginner, and what she was doing, and I see this all the time, especially in females, especially in beginners, wasn't engaging the wrist and was actually completely at the ground. The problem with this position is it makes the club extremely heavy because you aren't starting to take the load of the club. So when I see someone here, I was actually seeing this club was kind of trying to anchor itself to try and take the weight, but what tends to happen is we then have to bend and do other things. So that is a huge issue. Plus, and someone made this comment on the Instagram, and they're not wrong, they said if you've got a really strong position, if you can twist hard, the shaft gets forwards and that will square the club. That statement is actually true, but if you don't have the strength to take control of the club, plus a tour pro, so let's say that's a tour pro move. Tour pro, really powerful, so the more they get forwards, they have the speed to get the ball up in the air. Most people, so I'm using here a beginner female, but I would say even the average golfer, the average male golfer, they will not have the ability to pivot hard enough to make that position work. So that is why I'm saying, like, look, and can you see what we did afterwards is we did some one-handed, right hand only, trying to get the club more up. The people that were saying it was terrible were then referring to that's going to make you slice. The golfer in question was not getting the ball up in the air. The following lesson that she did, I was really impressed. She'd been hitting her driver straight into the ground, so they weren't going anywhere. She then started to carry the ball in excess of 100 yards. So what we were doing is making it lighter so then the body could turn. Because one of the issues is when the club is made it heavy, it's hard to turn because you end up kind of working laterally, you know, just to try so it becomes small and very lateral. So that is why I like this position for that golfer. The other reason why you might have the club a bit more up, players that have quite steep up and down swings, I appreciate if it's here it has to kind of maybe rotate more than you would like, but if you get close and are coming down on what we're going to call a slightly steeper plane, unfortunately that doesn't work. So take like Phil Mickelson would be a great example. He has quite a long swing, he gets very narrow and steep on the way down, his club is up and he ends up releasing it. You take Phil, you can use Phil as the reason to do it because he has won majors, he's got one of the best resumes you could possibly have. But he's also not renowned for being consistent. So you see Phil is a for and against that. But regardless of that, if you're that person, don't put the face in a more desirable position for another position. So that is a really good reason as well, that when it's coming up down here. And then the other reason why you might see someone have more of an open face is if they start with a stronger grip. Because if your grip is underneath the club, as you move back, the club is naturally going to go into a more open position. Notice, and again, this Instagram, I was getting, oh, you're twisting the club. If you have a strong grip, there's no twisting of the club. So to go spine down, so the leading edge is on the spine angle. With a strong grip, I'm actually having to twist it into that position. So my model, and you'll get a lot of coaches say I haven't got a model. Of course I have. I've got a swing that I think is desirable, but I need the person's physical traits to allow me to use that. But let's say in an ideal world, I've got a person who moves how I want them to move. Absolutely, they're going to have a pretty neutral grip, and that spine angle to leading edge is going to be the same. But remember, a couple things you can learn from this. One, not all videos are going to be for you. So I think sometimes the online community of coaches get bashed a bit, but remember, you have to find the information that suits your problems. So if I've done, and this week, if you go on my Instagram, which I would highly recommend, it is very good, but I would look at it and you'll see I did a bunch of ones to actually try and close the face, and then I did one for the person that actually already is too close. We're always on a continuum. So some of the videos are going to help, some of the videos are going to hinder. Really make sure you're picking the ones that help you. And then the other big thing to understand is I have a sports biomechanics degree. I know what I'm doing, I'm not terrible, so stop calling me terrible.